around.
They ain't doing nothing for you. Oh, let's get this party on the road.
Let's go.
First is some big breaking news here in DC.
Yes,
The
sir.
Commanders and the DC mayor have a framework to bring the team back to RFK Stadium. We know you're a big Commanders fan,
God
Jarrell.
is great.
Just your reaction when you saw this. I mean, I'm sure you saw it from NBC4 because we do own it.
Oh, absolutely. I saw it from you guys. I was super ecstatic. I've been praying for this day for a long, long time. I understand that not only would that bring money for the Commanders, but we can get Super Bowls, college football playoff, March Madness. That brings billions to the city of DC. So, and the surrounding area. So it's a big win for the area. It would really restore the feeling of the glory days that all of like my dad, my aunts, uncles would talk about
Correct.
RNK. So I'm super excited. I hope it comes through, and it's a good deal. Like DC's not fronting a lot of the deal itself, so I'm all in favor. I'm super happy.
Now, obviously, they did this somewhat the same thing with the Nat Stadium building that obviously wasn't nothing around there when it came in. Now you see that area how it's grown from apartments, restaurants,
Hmm.
shopping and all the other stuff.
Hmm.
Do you see something like that around there? But neighbors will be saying something about this.
Oh, they definitely will. I have a friend who has her folks live or in the nearby area. We were talking like her property value is gonna go up like a couple 100,000 easy.
Mm.
I think some of the nearby areas like 8th Street would change. Stadium Armory, they could redo that metro area. It's a lot of opportunity. I know some people would definitely have to get bought out, and that would be tough.
Yeah.
Um, but what it could be for DC, it'd be huge, man. Real big.
Oh, for sure, it's gonna be big. I mean, this is something that's gonna be ongoing for the next, some odd days. Obviously, DC going through this budget thing and waiting for the
Yeah,
House to approve stuff. So,
yeah.
uh, we he had the scoop on it probably a couple weeks ago, and then now it's just like, all right, we got to unleash this, and now here we are with this breaking news out. But enough of that. I mean, let's get to these playoffs. The playoffs are here. The NBA playoffs are here. We know um, Travis is back on here. Your guy Luca has left Dallas. You know what happened last year in that finals. He has left Dallas because, like I always been saying, the Luca trade was made by the NBA. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it
It,
at that.
it wasn't made by the NBA,
It
but
was made by the NBA. We know what's going on. The ratings was down. You wanted to bring fans back to the game and doing all this other stuff, so they had to make a deal. Like Harper said, the Lakers always get the favorite to get these guys for nothing. And then you got a 25-year-old, now 26-year-old going to LA. You smiling over there? You feeling happy? You feeling like y'all got a chance? I know you probably gonna say something crazy and out of this world. So let's just go, man. What y'all think y'all can do in this playoffs? We'll start with the Lakers. You
We could
got the
just,
T Wood. You got Baby Jordan coming in.
that
you know,
baby Jordan is crazy.
I'm going to channel my inner, Shannon Sharp with this one, and Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, Lakers in five.
Yeah, okay.
That's just how I look at it. Like at the end of the day, when I see the matchup, I think statistically it's a good matchup. You talk about how much they average per game when it comes to their 3-point shooting. Like it's really neck and neck to be completely honest with you. But I just feel like when you look at their big three with Randall and Rudy, and obviously Ant Man, and then you look at our big three, I think we have the edge. I think it's I think it's really going to come down to JJ Redick and how he maneuvers, his rotations and how he decides to who is he going to play off the bench. I think that's really
Okay.
what it's going to come down to.
Mm.
Um, I haven't been too fond of like his rotations when it comes to like ending the second quarter, going into halftime, and who he has on the floor. Like you know, good when I look at him, I call him Baby Bruce because I think he do a little bit of everything. He does the dirty work, but when it comes to this particular situation in the playoffs, I feel like you gotta, limit your rotations. You gotta either sit back and say, do I want to go with an 8-man rotation, 9-man, or do I want to just, go with what's been working during the regular season, which is a 10-man rotation.
I
But
don't think
for
that's gonna happen.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But Connect, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he don't get when my boy Rui played, he only get 5 minutes a game. I feel like he's gonna be somebody that we actually need in the rotation, especially when it comes to this type of matchup. But I just don't see anybody that the T Wolves have that can guard Luka. At the end of the day, that's what it's gonna come down to. I feel like we can contain Ant Man. He's gonna get his. The goal is just not to let him be efficient. If he's not efficient, I don't think the T Wolves have a chance, honestly. And LeBron, he's been in a position. This is probably like the first time he's been in a position to where he can actually give the keys to somebody. Like I think he tried to give the keys to AD, but for some reason, he didn't want to take it. It could be due to injuries or whatever the case may be. But I feel like this is the first time LeBron can actually rest, at least 2.5 quarters and just kind of turn it up when he needs to, similar to like what Kyrie did with us in the Mavs. Um, but yeah,
You see
I
what that
think we're in
got
a good spot.
you? You see what that got you, right?
Look! It got us to it got us to the show. It got us to the
It
show.
did.
Like I
It
feel
did.
like I feel like I always told you this, Derek. In the West, Luke is nobody that can stop Luke in the West. He runs the West. It is what it is. It's nobody that can stop him in the West. And when you look at the Lakers, their issue was getting past Denver. I don't see that being the issue if that ever was to take place. But the only team in the West that I truly feel like that has a chance of beating us is OKC. You know, I feel like with our matchup with the T Wolves, it's gonna be physical, but I feel like we can get them out the way in five. If we can get them out the way in five, or make it a clean six. I think our pathway is pretty good.
You say OKC is your probably the only contender, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
Now, like you said last year, can you tell me a moment where OKC has been battle tested? Because you know you like that word.
Yeah. I feel like last year, like as we know, they were young. They didn't have that playoff experience. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a playoff experience. I think when it came down to it, like it was a physical matchup. Like that was one of those matchups where it could have really went either way. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like one thing that OKC need, they if they can have the number 3 or number 4 guy to actually continue to be consistent, I think they're gonna be all right. Defensively, they're gonna cause problems. They're gonna give you buckets, and I don't think it's anybody that's gonna stop SGA from being able to give you 28 a night. And he's efficient at doing it. He's what 52% from the field during the season. Like that's not just something that's
He's
That,
abnormal.
spitting.
that's
He's
lovely.
been
That's
doing
lovely.
He's spitting right now. There's
That's
nothing for me to
lovely.
add.
I'm just saying he's been
Where?
doing it the last
How
two three
has they?
seasons.
How have they been battle tested? Like
Last year, I think
Yeah,
I
you
think
go of
I
last year.
think I think
last
last
year
year
against the? You mean the
the
second round when they
Mavs,
lost in six?
it was a
Yeah.
tough six though. It's like for an example,
So
and I
when we
know
gave this,
okay.
Jarrell, I'm just trying to give you context because he said last year that the Celtics were not battle tested coming into the playoffs. Now, giving you what he said from that, right? Wouldn't you think that the Celtics last year were more battle tested than the OKC coming into this year?
Absolutely. But that's not fair to OKC.
Why is it not fair? Because
Y'all,
the mate he's saying right now that OKC is our only challenge. But they haven't been battle tested more than the Celtics. But the Celtics last year haven't been battle tested. But Jason Tatum and Brown and that team has been through way more than OKC has been through during the playoffs, going through KD and Kyrie and Harden and them, going through a Greek and his Cavs and Drew, going through
Mhm.
Miami Heat teams. I mean, we
Yeah,
could go to different series, being down in a game 5 and about to lose, and then Tatum hits those 4 threes, and then we win to go to a game
I see what he
7. You see what I'm saying?
this what he's
He's
trying to say. This is what
He's
he's trying to say.
saying that
He's
these
trying to say
guys are
how
battle tested, but I'm like, where? Now I'm not saying OKC
he's
didn't have
basically
a
trying to say
phenomenal.
how one game, one team make you battle tested. That's basically what he's trying to say.
yeah.
No, no,
I see
no,
how you
no, no, no,
spinning
no.
it.
I'm trying to say if you're gonna say we weren't battle tested, I don't think you can say that the OKC has been battle tested when they haven't really done much. Besides, but like I was about to make to my point, they haven't really done much up until this point in the playoffs. But going into this year in their regular season, they've been phenomenal. How many games they're away from breaking the record? I think was it 8, 7? I don't know. It was close. But they've been the best team. The defense is phenomenal. You having crazy numbers. You're probably gonna have the MVP of the league, which that's questionable. But we can get to that a different
It's
time.
not, but
It's questionable. Yes, it is.
it's
It's
not.
questionable. But
Not
That's in stone right
they
there.
playing
That's in
really
stone.
well. They playing really well basketball and things like that. My point was, if you was going to say that last year about the Celtics going into that when they had pretty much somewhat the same year that they having this year, OKC, how can you say they're battle tested now and they wasn't back then? But Jarrell, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think I'm not gonna say they're more battle tested than Celtics. That wouldn't be fair to Celtics. Celtics have been doing it since Jason Tatum entered the NBA. So I'm not gonna say that. You know how I feel. We've got into it,
Definitely.
Travis, Derek, and I about the Celtics. But that I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But I think in
He was
terms
just
of
trying to
what
get on us.
Travis said, he's correct. I think the Lakers, as much as I love Ant's one of my favorite players in the game today, the Timberwolves don't really stand a chance. I think Ant can will them to a game, but it's Lakers in 5. And I think the only team really that will stop the Lakers would be the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just think they're a deeper team. But the thing is, I think the Thunder are a better team, but the Lakers have more experience. But going to the experience question, this kind of reminds me of they're not the same team in terms of style of play, but just who they are in their maturation. This Thunder team reminds me of the 2015 Warriors, where the year prior they lose a tough 7-game series to the Clippers. They get a new coach, there's new energy, and it's like, this is cool. They had the best record, but people were saying then they're not battle tested. Is it going to be enough? And then it was enough. And then you saw what we've experienced the last 10 years. So I think this Thunder team has a real chance that if they were to break through the ceiling and win, they could run off a few.
Thunder,
The Thunder, yeah.
what do you when you talk, Trav, you got to come on mute.
Apologies. My apologies. So
Oh,
yeah,
you good,
to
brother?
that Boston point, like with Boston, I think it was more experience versus being battle tested. Like I think they had more experience as far as playing together, playing playoff ball together, you know, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing, getting to the finals. Like they had the experience. Like when they played the Pacers, for an example, I don't
Don't they go
consider
hand in
that
hand? Don't they go hand experience and
it
kind of
does
battle
it
testing and
does.
being in different situations?
I think it goes hand in hand, but I think it was like for me when I look at Boston, when I just look at them overall as just their roster, like when they played the Pacers, for an example. Arguably people could say the Pacers folded. They could say,
They
look,
did.
they could have won. They could have won. I can't believe I don't know which game it was. The one where they turned the ball. It was just a crazy ending.
Game 1.
Yeah, they could if they
Yeah.
would have won that game. Yeah, it could have kind of flipped the series a little bit to where I could look at Boston and say, yeah, they were battle tested. Like, but
Okay. I see what you
ultimately,
mean.
yeah, but ultimately I look at it like once they won that game, you knew it was over. Like they had a superior roster, and the Pacers were deflated. Like
Well, it wasn't
it was
over
just
because of game 3, they was up 18. They just came back and won. And then Drew got that still at the end. And then after that, I would have
like
said you down 3-0. But you talk like we gave you multiple series. We were down and like 3-2 against the Bucks. Jason Tatum had 46 in that game. We
He
won that
did.
game on the road.
He
came
did.
back, and then we killed the Bucks against that. We had moments like this. You had a moment where you were down one against the Brooklyn game one, and Tatum hits that
On
spin shot.
Easter.
You know what I mean? You had games like this. Like I just said, you had a game 6 in Philly where you were losing. Jason Tatum was trashed at most of the game until he woke up at the end. These are games where you have to win or it's over. Those are battle tested moments. And then you go into a game 7 where it's do or die and you at home and then he dropped 50 plus. I mean, what more do you want from the guy, sir? But a point to Jarrell, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Why do you feel that the Lakers are just so much better than the Timberwolves? One, I think this is my opinion. I think the issue with the Lakers is going to be 3 minutes left in the game. You got to get stops, and guess who you
Okay.
got playing defense? Luka, LeBron, and AR.
Now I'm with you there, but the Timberwolves have Gobert, and you expose Gobert in the postseason, it's easy money every time. The Mavs did it last year. The Warriors have done it. To beat him, you just gotta expose him. Now I'm not saying like Nas Reed and Anthony Edwards are really good defenders, but it's really just exposing Gobert and bringing him to the perimeter, and he's barbecue chicken after that. So that's
But
what I think.
the thing is, you got film now, and so if now if he switches, you might go to a couple of plays and let him do it 1-on-1. But then again, now you bring a double team, hopefully. And hopefully what we did in the finals is you call out Luka. And the thing is, what I think we said on the phone, what Harper said, the Lakers going to have to get their defense assignments perfect for when they try to switch on Luka and they try to bring that other defender to come up and then Luka slides down.
Now,
They're going to have to be perfect on that.
now for
And I
me,
know they're going to try to slide and help out him a lot because they're going to try to expose him in pretty much every series now.
but the difference between what the Celtics were able to do in the finals versus the Timberwolves, y'all have a deeper personnel offensively, so you can attack Luka with multiple people. The Timberwolves don't really have that. They don't have multiple scorers where they could get 20.
Everybody should be able to attack Luka. It's Luka.
Nah, you're right, but I think last year's Timberwolves team completely different because then Cat would just feast. But this year's team, they lack offense, and they're not as efficient as they were last year. Like having Randall, he brings a perimeter like in terms of scoring mid range and stuff, but he's not efficient, so he clogs up space. And if he missing shots, and Ant can be streaky too. So now that's just more opportunities for the Lakers, in my opinion.
I feel like with the T-Wolves, like their best chance is just to make the game physical and hope the whistles aren't happy. Because when it come down to it, like you say, Derek, in the last let's say the last 5 minutes of the game, I feel like if the Timberwolves are trying to give the ball to Rudy, they already lost. Like offensively, if their game plan is to try to get a ball to Rudy, they lost. One thing with the Lakers, like yes, individually we may lack defensive guys when you say like Luka, LeBron, and AR. But one thing that I do like that JJ Redick has done is he has found a way to say, look, we're not going to let you get a straight line to the basket. Our goal is to prevent you from getting to the basket. So when you have someone like Luka with his size, when you have someone like Rui with his size on the wing, when you have AR who could play decent enough defense, you really are even off the bench. When you look at you have Vandy, you know what I'm saying? When you have, so we have our perimeter defensive guys who can stop you from getting to the bucket. They're gonna force you to make big shots, and I think that's gonna benefit us. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to give the ball to Rudy or set him in a pick and roll, I think you already lost it. And one thing as far as with the Lakers, just offensively, I feel like we hit shots when we need to hit shots. We're streaky when it comes to the three ball, but I feel like we move the ball well. People say Luka, he can't play off the ball. He's doing a good job playing off the ball. You know what I'm saying? LeBron playing a good job off the ball. We have moments where we allow, AR to be able to control the offense. He could penetrate, get to the free throw line. I just feel like we have our five. I don't think the Timberwolves have enough for us. And then if even when we go to the bench and say, okay, off the bench, our three versus their three, I think that when it comes to the Lakers, I tell you all the time, Derek, 110 is the magic number. That's the
You
magic
said that
number.
last year too.
Look, it. This is a whole new team right now. You know what I'm saying? I can't even think about the Mavs now. But when I look at the Lakers, I just look at it like you talk about experience. When you talk about Luka and LeBron controlling the game, I just feel like the Timberwolves, they just don't have enough. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think they're a bad team. I think it's gonna be some close games, but I just feel like when it comes down to it, I don't see them. I can see them winning two and making it, a 6-game series.
I got them winning
But
at least two.
yeah, I can see that being a 6-game series. But the way I look at it is, I think it may be one of those Lakers, up 2-0. Then, T Wolves, they win one, Lakers win another one, T Wolves win, and then Lakers finish them off. Like, I can see it going in that direction.
Okay.
But just the way the bracket is
All
set
I
up,
gotta say is,
I think the Lakers are right. I think it worked out perfectly for them, to be honest.
don't lose. That's all I gotta say.
Let me ask you this.
You got our
When,
game one. You gonna be calling for JJ rotation.
now, one thing I will say is, when we get up, that's my only issue. When we get up by 15, 18 points, we need to keep that our head. We need to just
Yeah,
keep going.
you guys take your
For
foot
some,
off the gas
we take it off the
every
gas,
time.
and
Yeah.
then we just put in
I
a
do too.
rotation to where we have no
We,
shooters on
we
the floor.
yeah,
It get bad. We put teams back in the game. We give them life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is type of, we do like how they do in New York. Look, we're gonna run the starters. You know what I'm saying? And then we could give Luke and LeBron their breaks in between, but they need to be on the floor, at least one of them at all times. You know what I'm saying?
So you got the
And
series going what?
I got to go in 5.
Lakers in 5, Jarrell.
I got Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. I guess what? T Wolves losing 6. He thought I was gonna say 2.
I'm about to say, nah, you guys be telling me. I'll be like, all right,
You
salute.
like that one? All right. We talked about the little trash Lakers. Obviously some playing games. What's tomorrow? I think they
And
finish it
then
up.
I always remember, Luca always turns it up a notch in the playoffs.
Uh,
Always.
until he's shooting 24% from 3. But I mean, thank you, JB.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. With Luca, you can't think about the 3-point percent. You gotta look at the overall field goal
Yeah,
percentage.
that's what you want. That's what you want. That's what you want. Like he ain't missing threes. Like it's sometimes they do it separate too, buddy. What I was gonna say. What series y'all want to hit on? I'll ask this. What's a sleeper team that you
Mm.
think that might sneak and get some of these like other? I guess I don't know, would you call them big fishes or some of the teams that's been kind of consistent throughout the year. What's the team that you see on here? Is it the Nuggets? Is it the Clippers? I mean, they've been playing where? Is it the Rockets? I mean,
I
what do you
think
guys?
it's the Warriors. Like the Warriors, I got the Warriors beating the Rockets. Honestly,
Oh, the Warriors beating the Rockets.
yeah.
This
Mm.
is breaking. This is breaking news. Why you say that?
This is the experience battle tested. Like I'm not gonna say it's gonna be. Yeah, it's that argument. I think putting Amin Thompson on Steph, that's gonna be interesting. But I think we see playoff Jimmy. I think go 7. I think honestly go 7.
Warriors in 7.
Warriors in 7. Houston has never beaten the Warriors in the playoffs. I just
You
think
going
it's
way
one of
back in
those. Yeah, if you just want to go historically, how they match up. I don't think Steph will have the greatest series, but I think this is why you traded for Jimmy. This series is going to show why you traded for him.
This definitely a tough. That's definitely a tough series. Like, I've been real high on Houston. Like, I like the way they play defensively, how they run. I like to call
They're a
them. They
really
got
good
them
team.
young. They got them young legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be a game of athleticism versus experience. Like, and I can't really read the series. I'm gonna be honest with you because I feel like Steph. I think he's gonna do what he got to do. Um, and you know how I feel about Jimmy. You know, Jimmy Buckets, playoff Jimmy. Like the playoff time, he turns it up. But it's just like when you seen him play Memphis. What he have? 38. Like you can't. Come on. If you
Yeah,
get
but how
and
many
Jimmy,
free throws now? Come on now.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
Tell
still
the,
true.
38 points.
tell the story.
It's
If,
still
if you
Tell
38
the
if
story.
points.
if you
Let
let
them know, means we watched the game. We know what Jimmy Butler was doing out there.
if you let
That ain't
hey,
nothing he did impress me.
if you let I feel like if Houston let Jimmy, however he get his points, if you let Jimmy average 20 plus in this series, it's going to the Warriors. Um,
Not. I ain't gonna say that. You know why? Because you're not gonna get no scoring from Draymond. You can limit the others, and then you're gonna have two
Right.
people that's trying to beat five. So I wouldn't say if he averaged 20, that's gonna happen. I think Houston plays well, nice defense. You're probably gonna have a taller defender on Curry, so that could give problems. You saw what happened. I guess the last time they played, what Curry had 3 points, I
Yeah,
think.
3 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I know they're gonna try to throw everything at him. Now, could Steph? I mean, yeah, could Steph come out and go crazy and do his thing? Now we're not gonna put that past him because one all-time great. So, but I think they'll give him some problems. Now let's see what you can get from others. I mean, are you gonna get something from? Is Kaminga even gonna play?
That's the
Uh,
big question. If Kaminga is utilized, I think he'll be fine. They're just not using him. And
see,
Kerr hasn't explained why. He's giving him the Tatum treatment.
he's he's
correct.
not he's not he's not Kerr guy though. He never really been Kerr guy. I feel like he's similar to like how Denver used to use MPJ when he first came there, right? I feel like
Okay.
they never was fond of his. I don't know if it's his style of play or how he fit with the team. Um, but yeah, this that series, like I think Houston has to win game one. I just it's with their youth, lack of experience. I feel like they have to win game one just to allow them some breathing room for game two and not have to feel too anxious. I feel like they lose game one. I feel like they may not bounce back from it.
Email happen right. Hopefully, Phil Jackson will have him right.
Yeah, I think Ime gonna have them boys ready to go. I'm thinking I got the Rockets, man. I think the Rockets might beat the Warriors because after especially what I watched in the play-in the other day, where you had Jimmy and Steph go off, and they still almost lost. It came down to a early, if you ask me, 5 second call. It was the fastest 5 second call I ever seen in the NBA. And then I read the
What?
last 2 minute report
That
today.
was.
There was a lot of calls that shouldn't have been called that the refs admitted, okay, yeah, in the last 2 minute report that, yeah, they were we called these fouls, and they weren't fouls. The Zach Edey goaltend, they called it a goaltend and it wasn't even a goaltend. They said Jimmy got fouled and he airballed, but Scottie Pippen didn't even touch him and they called a foul. It's
Yep.
just little things
And they
like
didn't
that
have a
where you can
challenge either.
right. So you can have Jimmy and Steph go off and you can still lose. But I just think that Houston, their physicality, they got bigs, they play physical. Ime gonna have them play physical. They're gonna tote that line of we gonna rough you up, Steph, and push you around, and because that's how you gotta beat Steph. You gotta like rough him up. You gotta hit him, chase him, have Amen taking him 94 feet, hitting him as he comes up the court. And I feel like if they can do that, they got a chance. Now, offensively, you do got to have a Jalen Green, or I don't know who they're going to go to if it comes down to getting the bucket at the end of the game. Who they're going to go to, but if they can play that style of defense and keep it physical, and just kind of rough up Steph and make it hard on them like they did that last time they played, I think they can beat Golden State because I mean, outside of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, who you got? You gonna rely on Pajinski? Like he may give you a game or two, but I wouldn't. I don't know about him. So I'm leaning Rockets, but you can never doubt Steph Curry though. At the end of the day, it's still Steph Curry on that
You
other
can
side
doubt
of
him.
that. True. But yeah, I think I'm liking the Rockets, man. They're physical. They play
So
physical
you got
style
Rockets in
basketball.
what?
Oh, it's gonna go 6 or 7 games. So I'll say 7 just to give, because I just out of respect to Steph Curry and who he is,
A
I'll say
long
Rockets is
series.
7. But they got bodies to throw at Steph. They got Van Vliet, they got Brooks, they got Thompson. I mean, they got bodies that they can throw at Steph, and they, So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm leaning Rockets right now. I'm leaning Rockets.
So you going Rockets.
Yeah.
Jarrell, who you picking in this series? Oh, you got the Warriors in 7.
I
Trav,
got
who you
Warriors
got?
in 7. Yep.
I got the Rockets in 6.
Mm.
Ooh,
I feel
Okay.
like I'm just big on the youth. You know what I mean? I just feel like the Warriors, they've been fighting this whole season. Just to actually make the show. I feel like it's been a success for them, even though they won't say it. But I feel like Amy. I think he got them boys ready, man.
And they got some playoff experience too over there. They got Dylan Brooks, they got Van Vliet. So I mean, Van Vliet's a champion, so he knows what it's like to be there. Ime's been there, so I mean, he's been deep in the playoffs. So I feel like they got, they're young, but they got some experience out there on the floor. In terms of, because I am an experienced guy when it comes to playoffs. I usually lean towards the experience, but I don't know, for some reason this particular matchup, I'm just like, maybe it's Ime. I don't know. I'm a big Ime guy, so maybe it's Ime. But I'm just like,
I don't know
it's
why.
something about the Rockets that he changed the Celtics. If it weren't for him, the Celtics wouldn't be where they are today.
No, they
He's
would.
not wrong.
They would. They would be that today. They was already there. They just can't get over the hump, and then he couldn't win 3 games in a row for us. But that's a different story for a different day. And they
Let's
still
talk
won.
about your
And they
Celtics, man.
and they still won without him. Why you want to talk about my Celtics? Let everybody
Y'all
else
in
get
the
the crown.
playoffs. Like, let's talk about them. Like, what's up?
What you want to know?
What you got? You got a sweep, or y'all gonna lose a game, 2 games? What you got?
Who they? Oh, Magic.
I mean, I feel like we should sweep the Magic.
I don't think you sweep them.
I just feel that
I
I
can
feel
see
like
that.
we should sweep them.
You
Now,
should. I
granted,
don't think
it
you
ain't gonna
will.
go no more than 5 games. I know
Yeah,
that.
I got Boston in 5. That's what I was thinking. I'll give
Uh,
them. I like the Magic. I'll give the Magic a game. A
Same.
yeah,
game they
they'll
might catch
probably
the
fight
Celtics
hard.
slipping.
They'll probably fight hard. I just don't feel like they score enough. They gonna
Right.
feel like they hyped. They gonna try to play team by which they do, but you know, Paulo. I mean, he. I like him as a player, and he's definitely gotten better. But I don't think he's like a consistent scorer sometimes. And you got pieces around him,
That's
but I'm
true.
not too worried about them. We going into a playoff healthy with a healthy Porzingis. JB kind of banged up, but that's fine.
I'm about to
Y'all,
say the
This
question is JB
this
too.
rested y'all
this
guys
is
the last month and a half.
why wouldn't we? We
I'm
still
saying y'all
won
should be
60
well
plus
rested.
games. We still won 60 plus
J,
games.
JB gonna be the question mark for me, because that knee. I'm not. I'm curious about that knee and how it's going.
I ain't
I'm
too
sure he
worried
got
about it.
some
He
rest, but
had probably almost 15 to 17 days off to rest. You get a shot.
Okay.
He looking better. I mean, now this is now other people step up. This is when Tatum has to take
hmm
another level to be the guy and be that man. If
He's not the
JB,
guy.
yes, yes, I'm talking
yeah,
about
he definitely the
to,
guy.
to be this bona fide like go crazy and just take us to another level. That's what I'm saying. He's definitely the guy, man. Come on now.
Yeah, he definitely the guy.
But
Okay, I'm
but
just
if
making sure.
but the thing
I'm just making
is,
sure.
if JB not right, we got another guy in Porzingis that's gonna give mismatches that's gonna can score 20
Mm,
plus and be that guy. So I'm not too worried about that.
Okay.
We got pieces. We ready. I always said this, and I said this to Trav last year. Our top 6 is gonna beat their top 1. I'm not worrying about their 1. Just like I said, that our top 6 is gonna be Dallas top 2. It's just that's what I think. So
So
Let me ask you.
if
Let me
this
that's
ask
how
you.
series
I
Let
go
me
goes
ask
in.
you
6,
this
will you be
then.
worried?
What
No.
what team in the East? What team in the East do you think can give Boston the most problems?
Pacers.
Probably the Pacers or the Cavs.
Pacers.
Don't say the Pacers. Folks act like the Pacers gonna lose to the Bucks. Come on, man. They not losing to the Bucks.
I'll say the
You
Pacers.
don't think
Well,
so?
Pacers or the Cavs. I'll say the Cavs more so. Like Magic could give us problems because they tall, they lanky, they play defense, they scrappy. You know, when you get a little physical team like that, sometimes Jason Tatum gets a little soft, or he don't play more aggressive, or he missing shots, or he taking crazy shots, and he's shooting over rather shooting over a 6'4" guy. Now he's shooting over 6'7", 6'8". You know what I'm saying? That changes your shot. That changes up your game. But now
Yeah,
it's about getting to your spots and playing our brand of basketball. If we playing our brand of basketball, I
right.
don't think nobody can beat us. Get to the bucket, get your open looks, hit shots. Find the mismatches. If things not working, get to the free throw line. Stop arguing with the refs. You know, I always say play team ball. Play together. Play team ball, play together, and do the little things right.
See, and
And
this
once
why
we do
this
that,
like
we'll be good.
Jarrell, that's what I mean by like when we first started. This is what I mean about battle tested. You see how like that road is just it's so smooth.
Yeah.
It's no rocks on the pavement. You know what I'm saying? It's new
How
construction.
is
It's
it?
just
How is it smooth? I gave you
smooth
plenty
road,
of examples. How is it smooth?
smooth road, man.
I
I
guess
feel like
OKC got a smooth road, right?
Not really.
What's the
let me
battle
see that.
Who?
tested?
Let me. Can I see the bracket again?
What's the battle tested?
Who? Who'd you say, Derek?
I said he trying to say. So you remember last year when we had this conversation? We talked earlier before you got on the bet about Boston being battle tested last year going into the playoffs. He don't feel like they've been battle tested. This was even when they got to the finals when he was saying this. And then now I said
Hmm.
you talked about a Boston last year that wasn't battle tested, but you come in and say that OKC is a threat to the Lakers. But where have they been battle tested at? I would say
OKC ain't no threat to
I
no
would say that
Lakers.
I would say the Celtics last year was more battle tested than OKC. But let me bring the bracket up for you. Y'all either gonna
OKC,
play
the
the Mavs
Clippers, the
or
Nuggets.
Memphis.
I'd be scared of them.
I think a great series if it get to this point. And
Don't
I
say
don't
the
want to jump the gun,
Knicks.
but no, I do. I like if OKC and the Clippers have to run into each other. I think that's going to be a great series.
That would be.
Um, but
Give
as
me the
far as like just
Clippers.
yeah, Clippers are playing good ball. If I'm gonna keep it just on off round one, I think the best series is going to be Rockets and Warriors. And I kind of like that Pacers and Bucks series, but I think Detroit gonna beat the Knicks. I don't know why, but that man Cunningham,
Ooh,
I
that's a
think they
Upset
gonna pull
alert!
it
take.
off.
That's a
That's my
take.
sleep. That's my sleep. That's my sleeper that you said earlier. That when we were talking about it, I think Detroit gonna come out around one.
Mm.
I think Cunningham playing some great ball, man. And
He is playing good ball.
when I watch them play, I just
How many
like their
games?
style of play. You say what?
How many games?
I think it's going a tough six. I don't see it going seven. I just don't
Mm.
like the way the Knicks style of play. I just feel like the longer the series, they're gonna wear down. I don't see it making it to seven. But
Hmm.
Okay.
that's my sleeper. That's my round one
But you got the
sleeper. Don't
Celtics
forget.
series going. You probably got the Magic winning.
I got them getting. I feel like look. I feel like the Magic can get one. I really think it's gonna be a sweep, but I would not be surprised if Orlando get one. And that's just because what's my boy over there in Orlando?
KCP.
Paulo, Franz Wagner,
Yeah, probably.
KCP.
Yeah. I feel like he good enough to get one game. I feel like he got a 30 piece and just he's good enough to have a good game or a great game to where Boston just probably like I'm gonna let y'all win this. It may be a 3-0 type of series and then they just let one go. I don't think that's a big deal for Boston.
Jarrell, what's the Celtics winning there?
I got y'all in five. I think like Travis said, I think Paolo can get a game.
Hey, I putting a lot of stock into that man.
think he's
He
really
he, he
good.
like that now. He nice.
I said he's nice, but I don't think he's consistent.
I mean, yeah, P5, but then you got Wagner good too. So I think both of them can give you one
Yeah, he can give
game
you one
together
game.
in a sense. Like like they can have a game together in a sense. Yeah.
Any other series we need to hit on? Well,
I
I
want
mean,
to
what
get.
y'all think about the Cavs? Do y'all think they're gonna make a big push? Do you think they just flukes, or I mean,
They're
I need
not
to see who they
flukes. I
play.
just think that in the East is going to be you guys and them in the conference finals, and I think you guys are just a better team. I think by you guys saying the Celtics, I just think Celtics are a better team. I think the Cavs
we
are a
know.
good team, but they're they have a ceiling. I feel like when the Celtics are clicking, there's not a team that can beat them. It's just you guys play with your food too much, personally.
Yeah.
So that's what
It's
make it
one
a
team that can beat
series.
them. It's one team that can beat them.
Oh,
I'm gonna let me say it. Who that one team that could beat the Boston this year?
I'm assuming you're talking about the Lakers. but but if we talking the East, I don't know who's gonna beat them in the East though.
Yeah, in the
Nah,
East, no.
mm-mm.
If
so
the Celtics don't make out of the East, we're having an emergency pod because you gonna ask some answers. You gonna ask some questions to answer my brother. Like,
Look, D.
uh,
Mitch do
look, I
fall in the
said this
playoffs.
last year. I said this last year. It's nothing for me to talk about until they get put out. I don't have to talk each game.
you're
And I
right.
know a lot of people do that, but
I
now
like to do that.
I feel like I feel like I'm at this point where I have so much confidence in the team. It's either you gonna get me there, or now I'm obviously I'm gonna watch the game. Y'all know that, and I'll break it down to make sure like people ain't saying stuff like outrageous because some people in our group chats be questioning about, did y'all watch the game? Did y'all not see this last da 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 da? You know what I mean? This is why I
Mhm.
say, and this is what said to the point earlier, Mees, get out of the stacks, get out of the highlights. Watch the
Yeah,
game.
you gotta watch the game. Yeah.
No,
Because
that's
Yeah.
you
right.
can't say he had 35, but didn't score
Numbers
no
lie,
points in the
man.
fourth. But didn't score nothing in the fourth. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Watch the game. And so now I'll definitely do that. But now it's just all about get me there. Like we said last year, I don't matter how many games, what it takes, just get me there. And I feel like we should do that. Now, will we get some, tough games against the Cavs or maybe the Magic or whoever? We
Yeah, it
probably
ain't gonna be
will.
easy. I mean, yeah,
But,
nobody's saying
you
it's
know,
gonna be easy on. Yeah, it ain't gonna be
get
easy,
us
but
there. But when we get there,
You get there and you cross the finish line, you can hit my line. Like I
if
don't duck smoke from
if
nobody.
we win again, I want everybody back here.
I'll be here.
I'm gonna be sending y'all some jerseys.
don't send me
What
no
do you want me
jersey.
to do with the jersey? Where? Like what?
Don't
What?
send me no. Save your money, dog.
I want to
Yeah,
be
that's
sending y'all
Save your
some
money.
jerseys.
So
I give it to charity. Put it to good
Oh
use.
Lord.
so do anybody trust the Bucks at all?
I
I
don't know.
mean, I don't know. I don't see the Bucks beating the Pacers. I just don't see. I don't trust Doc Rivers. I don't trust Darvin Ham. I don't trust Giannis. He good. Giannis is one of the best power forwards all
Why
Giannis
we
top
talk?
time. But
three. He
First of all,
really
why we
top
talking
two.
about Darvin Ham and he ain't the head coach?
because he part of that, because I don't like Darvin Ham, and he part of that team.
But
And
why
then
we
any
talking about
team
him?
Darvin Ham
Why we talking
on,
about him?
because I got to add that in there, because I don't
Oh,
like Darvin Ham.
go ahead,
But
finish.
yeah, like I mean, he's one of the greatest centers, I mean, power forwards of all time. But outside of that 2021 season where he had Drew Holiday, I don't he
Who
hasn't
he
he
play
don't
for?
really do he plays for the Boston now. He don't really do much like in the playoffs, and it's either injury or I mean, he does much, but his team doesn't do much. And
I
so I
agree.
mean, it's injury or it's always something. And then I'm one of the rare people that don't believe in Damian Lillard when it come playoff time. So I just don't. It's basically, to me, it's Giannis versus the Pacers. I feel like if you just kind of either let Giannis go off and you stop everybody else, I feel like you will be all right. I feel like you can beat them, and I feel like I trust Rick Carlisle more than I trust Doc Rivers in a sense. And I like the way the Pacers play. They run up. They are They run up and down the court, fast-paced team. I feel like if they could play that type of game, they gonna tire them boys out, and I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna go 6-7 games, but I just like the Pacers. I think people don't really watch the Pacers, and they just say, oh, it's the Pacers. The Bucks got Dame. That's a name. They got Dame, they got Giannis, but the Pacers are a good team. They play solid defense. They're
can
not the best
score.
rebounding, but they can score. And they
They
run
can
up and down that
score.
court. Their pace is not a normal pace. So I feel like they can beat the Bucks. I don't even feel like. I mean, it could go 6. Give me 6 Pacers in 6 games. I don't think it's gonna go 7. Now that I'm talking about it.
Pacers in 6.
Woo.
Bold.
Yeah, I got 100 on that too, so they gotta win.
You want another bet?
Nah, I'm good on that one. I'm
I ain't
good.
want to bet on anyway.
I'm limited to that.
Y'all want? We could do this last Detroit. What you got? That series going? Detroit and Knicks. Who
That's
said
tough.
Detroit in 6? Oh, trash.
I got Detroit. I got Detroit in 6.
JERRELL.
I got the Knicks in 6.
I'll take the Knicks. I'll take the Knicks in 6. I think the only thing that question me about the Detroit is if they're gonna be able to handle, like, you got, what's my boy name over there that's always fighting. They got an attitude
Stewart.
problem.
Stewart.
And yes,
I've never seen a basketball highlight from him ever. Like, I don't know what he does well.
So I mean, I don't know if they go like Beasley, you can get in his head and he'll get attacked. Like that stuff in the playoffs, that's how you lose games, is you start to crumble because you let your emotions overtake. I don't know what Detroit's emotions are going to be in this series. So I'm gonna go with the Knicks. I'm just gonna go with the Knicks because I just don't know how they're gonna be able to handle their emotions and everything. And
Bucks, Pacers, trash.
Knees probably won me over. I was thinking the Bucks. But what he was saying with the
He
Pacers
just
is
said
like,
some good words, put them in some sentences, and it all
sounds
came
so
together.
good. Look, it was so
Don't let it change you now. Don't let it
Yeah,
change
don't
you.
let it.
It sounded so good. Like he pieced it
You
together
know, we
real
took
well.
East classes at Crosby Hall.
Trust your instincts, dog. Go with your
No.
instincts.
Look, I had the Bucks, right? But it was just, you can just say I kind of took them off of like just face value, right? But when you kind of like how Mees broke it down, and then when I actually watched, the Pacers play, they style of play, how they gonna put up some buckets, like they gonna score. I just feel like with Dame health, and you know what I'm saying, and I feel like if he do decide, I think I did read something about him. He's supposed to be available, but I don't think
Yeah.
he's really gonna be available until like probably game 3, as far as like the Dame that we know. And him and a 4, and him and Greek don't. I mean, they don't even mesh well to me. Like when I really watch them play, I just feel like that fit don't sit well with me. So if I'm gonna have to pick, I'm gonna say Pacers in 7. I think they're gonna get up early in the series. I think Bucks gonna fight back, but it's gonna be too late.
Y'all just taking my takes, man. I got Pacers in 7. I think just to add to it, Dame's health is a question on if the Bucks can make an upset or not, even though they're more than capable from a talent perspective. I just think,
Right.
like you said, the way the Pacers play, I'm a Wizards fan, and watching the Pacers put a 160 on us in a blink of an eye, I was sitting there like, how they do this? It just happens so swiftly. And if they can get an emotion like that versus any team, especially the Bucks in their style of play, the Bucks don't generate enough points for that.
Yeah.
So it would take, I think, in order for the Bucks to win, Giannis has to average like 40. And now I'm not saying he can't do that, but that's the only way I have them winning. He would really have to average 40 for the series.
Good
So
gracious.
Pacers in 7 for me.
And Trav, you said Pacers in 7 too?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Pacers in 7.
Bucks in 6, man. Bucks in 6. All right, let's move on a little bit. I want to hear draft day is coming for the NFL. We just gonna do where you think these top players are going. Your top five picks. We know we talked a lot about Shador Sanders. We have a Sanders on here, Travis Sanders. He's a part of the family. um,
Hey man,
uh,
you gotta have somebody that's an advocate for them boys, man.
you
The
you
way the
you
media and everybody treat them, man. Somebody gotta advocate for
and where they treat the media too, but that's a different story for a different day.
them.
Uh,
All right, here we go.
Go ahead, Jarrell. What you got to say?
No, how do they treat the media? Like, what do they do
He
to
he
displease the
literally
media?
kicked the guy out and said he can't ask no more questions.
Oh yeah, no, that was wild. Yeah, Dion doing that
Okay,
because he
okay,
went for
okay. Come
CBS.
on,
Yeah,
man.
that was wild. No, for
Come
sure.
on.
Yeah. No, that was wild. I thought they
What
did
are we
some more
saying?
recent.
What are we saying right now?
No, no, you're right.
Derrick been stuck. He been stuck on that since it happened. Like he not letting
Yeah,
it
that's
go.
why I'm
He
like,
not
I
gonna
thought
let
it
it
was
go.
some
I'm
more
a
recent.
journalist. I don't feel like that should happen. We
You're
cover the
right.
team. Just because I write something bad about you or things like that, it's okay. I
I
shouldn't.
agree.
My access shouldn't get restricted. I shouldn't be like you trying to control everything. Like, come on, who you think you are? Who you think we are? Without us, you wouldn't be on TV.
Shout out to the president, man.
You want to be on TV. But anyway, me, I start with you. I mean, we got a top pick, number 4. What you want to do with that pick, man? Who should we get, man? We can get Hunter if he's there. We can get
Well,
Hunter didn't
Campbell.
want
well,
to be there.
I
I
don't
said
think we
if he's
getting
there, sir.
Hunter.
Listen.
I don't. I don't think we getting Hunter. I would be happy to have him though if he's there, but I don't think we getting him. I don't think we getting Abdul Carter. I think it's two ways we can go for me personally. Well, actually three ways, but I'll go with
Straight
I'll
back.
just take the two that I want. Either no well
That's
trade for Colton Miller, left tackle from the Raiders. Trade for him, and then you can bring in my boy Genty. I want him now. You can bring him in, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So realistically, we'll probably just either go with get Will Campbell. I feel like at the 4th spot, unless somebody want to trade back. And I think we still gonna get Will Campbell. So I really think it's Will Campbell, honestly, unless
you.
a trade happens and then then I'll have a different pick. But I think we gonna land Will Campbell,
You're the GM.
offensive tackle.
You're the GM of the Patriots. The clock is ticking. The Patriots have selected. Who you want?
I want Genty now, honestly, because he the best. And when you pick that high to me, you got to take the best player available. And I feel like he's one of the best players going to be available after Hunter, Carter. I feel like I would take the best player available and live with it, But
But y'all don't have a
you
line.
know,
Yeah, I'm going Campbell because I think we need a line. I think we struggled with that a lot
that's
last
true.
year, blocking. And I think if we're gonna
Well,
try to,
we've added some
I think
pieces,
if we're gonna
but
try
we
to
still have a
run
left
what
tackle.
Mike like to do, I think we need to get some kind of line, and I think Campbell's the best deal. Now, that's not saying what you said. If we're gonna trade that pick, I think we should take the Raiders pick, get that old lineman, and then we still probably can get somebody at the Raiders pick and do it that way. But if we pick it at the 4th, like Jarrell said, we need a line, and I think we need to pick Campbell. Travis, you talked about Shador. You talked about Travis. I mean, you've been in the camp for about 4 years now. You was at Jackson State as a beat writer. Now you at Colorado as another beat writer. I mean, you got a impressive resume.
You
What do you
know,
think? I mean, now you. I mean, you've been saying a lot. You've been all over the place. One minute he the top pick in the draft, then he go into the top 3, and now the best fit is the Saints. Where you at with it now?
yeah, man. This campaign has been going against them boys. It's been throwing me off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Shador is really the best quarterback out the entire group. I like Dart, honestly. I think he like number 2 between him and Cam. I really like Dart. As probably
Hell
arguably the second best quarterback.
You shaking your head,
But
Jarrell. You don't agree?
I think
no, not
you don't
with
like
Dart.
Dart.
No, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I like him, man. I watched him, and I think he got a good arm. He got a good deep ball. I think he's a good quarterback. I like him. I like his style. I think his style fits the pro level. I'll say that. But I have Cam going one. At two, it's kind of I feel like Carter. It haven't been spoken that much, but I think he's in a tough spot because I feel like the Browns are going to go with Hunter, and I think if the Browns go with Hunter, I just don't see the Giants using their pick on Carter. So I think for Carter, everything is banking on him going to the Browns. If he goes to the Browns, I think the Giants for sure is going to go with Hunter. As far as Shador, I think he in a position to where he's having these private workouts, which others are having it as well with the Giants, but I think the Saints is the perfect fit for him. I think it's kind of leaning towards the Saints, especially with Carr. He don't know if he's gonna get shoulder surgery or not. But at the end of the day, they don't have no starting quarterback coming into the season, so they need a quarterback. I'm not sure. Like I say, with the Pats, I was hearing y'all say y'all need a lineman, but I don't know for sure what they want to go with. I can actually see them trading with the Saints. Like I think in that top 10 it's gonna definitely be a team in that top five that's gonna trade down. They're gonna trade down, but something is telling me because of my Raiders. I know we wanted Genty, but we've been leaning towards the OL, especially with Miller and his contract situation. I think we're gonna sign Miller and still go with the offensive tackle from Missouri just to help out Geno. I can see the Saints, moving up either with the Raiders or the Pats. And I think that's what Shador gonna land at. I just don't. I like his fit with the Giants. I think Shador can fit with the Giants. I feel like if he go with the Giants, he'll definitely sit for 3/4 of the season. I don't see Russ
Man,
playing the
he not a
entire
day one
game.
starter. Wow.
No, he's definitely a day one starter. But if you want to be honest with you, I just don't want him to go to the Browns. I'll be honest with you. Don't go to the Browns, man. Like if any
Why
team,
not?
I don't want him to go to the Browns, man. The Browns is
Why
just a
not?
place for quarterbacks. It's a place for quarterbacks to just be unalive, bro. Like don't go to the Browns. Like I don't feel like there's nothing there that could benefit him by being in Cleveland from the organization, from the weather, from the division. I just don't like it. It just don't. It's like Khalid. It's like what I'm saying. It's like him. Like with the Browns, even though they did everything to try to give him the best opportunity, that division and just the weather. He is a SoCal guy. Like I don't like that matchup. I mean that mix for him. So like with Shador, when I look at the Saints, I'm looking at it and saying like, okay, this is a weak division. Number one. When you look at the quarterbacks in that division, who's the best quarterback? Baker. Outside of Baker, you
Penix.
really, you know what?
Baker
Penix. Hey,
Penix.
Penix is my guy, but they all
Bryce
young,
Young.
just to say the least. Outside of Baker, they all young. They still within 3 years. So I feel like
Mhm.
as far as a weak division, you playing in the dome, you don't have to worry about teams that are going to sit here and win 10 plus games. Like they can get in the playoffs by winning
That's a good
8 to 9 games. Honestly, like I think that's the
point.
best opportunity for him to where he can have his rookie woes and still be able to potentially get a wild card. Um, so he'll definitely start with he'll start with the Saints. I got him going to the Saints. So if I had to pick just to kind of put it on paper, I'm gonna say Cam going one. I'm gonna say Carter going two. I have Hunter going three, and I'm gonna say the Pats because I'm just unsure of their needs and wants. They're going to be the ones to trade back, and they're gonna still get whoever they want.
It better be somebody I like. I mean,
They say the offensive tackle or the offensive, the tackles, the drop off of tackles is bigger than running backs from the
It
first
is.
round talent. So
Mhm.
I feel like we probably are going to take a tackle.
Because to be honest, Genty, like you say, Genty, he's nice. I watched the film on him though, but I'm thinking like I don't know if it's like I get Oregon, but I'm like the competition level, and I'm looking like okay,
he the
when he gets
Caleb Williams this year.
when he get to the second
Who's that?
level, like he's hard to bring down.
I'll
But
explain it,
like
Jerry.
once he at the line of scrimmage, it's like it don't impress me, I guess, as much. You know what I'm saying? Like he getting 30, 35 carries to get 120. like I get it, but I just feel like in the league he gonna have to do much more. And I just feel like with it's a deep running back draft this year, man. I feel like
It
it's
sure
it's
is.
literally like 7, 8 running backs that 2 or 3 of them gonna pop off. You know what I'm
It's the
saying? Like I don't,
best
yeah,
draft for
don't,
them as well since
yeah, like
2017.
you better off moving up in the late first or just waiting to the second round to get a running back. That's just my personal opinion. Or even the third round, you probably could get a steal. This
Absolutely.
is a running back draft.
which I think Commanders might go for a running back. I saw that is talking. I think the Iowa
There's a
guy.
lot of options I'm looking at as a
Mhm.
Commanders.
I was saying the Caleb Williams this year because Travis is really hard on Caleb Williams and called him trash and all this other stuff. So Gentry is going to be his guy that he talked junk about this year. That's what I was saying for
Okay.
Caleb Williams this year.
Nah, but,
Um,
but if you think
I
about it though,
think
like even
Shador. Oh, go ahead,
no,
Trav.
no, you
My
got it,
bad.
Bees.
No,
No, you
I
got
think
it.
Shador, the Saints, if not the Saints, the Steelers. I think it's gonna be one of them
and
two
he's dropping
teams.
that low.
If he go, I mean, I've seen some people. I mean, like Trav said, a lot of people Shador been dropping, but I don't know if that's just talk or if that's because some teams do that just to kind of drop the stock for other teams
I
so that
keep
they
on
can get
falling.
them. But I see him if it the Saints or the Steelers because those are two teams that really need QBs. So we'll see.
The Steelers, they at what, 21?
Yeah, they're
Oh, I don't
21,
know where
the
they at.
21st
Oh,
pick.
dang. I would
Yeah,
assume they would probably trade up, not in maybe in the top 10, but maybe closer. If,
I would say
maybe
top
10,
15.
maybe, yeah. I would say top, yeah, I would say top 15. Like, they would have to probably trade up to get them for sure, or if
I was
they
about to say
really wanted them.
they gonna yeah. I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I know I was watching a Shador interview and he was explaining how like him and Tomlin they sat down and had an amazing 10 to 10 type interview. Like
Mhm.
they was
Mm-hmm.
locked in. But I just look at it like you don't once I seen the car news, that kind of changed my whole perspective as far as how it may play out. Like I just don't see the Steelers getting him unless they move ahead of the Saints. And to move ahead of the Saints, you're gonna have to give up the house. You're gonna have to give up a lot of assets. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But,
Not really. TJ Watt.
but But we
oh,
also gotta.
that is
We don't
true.
know if the Saints got Shador as their on their top of at the top of their board. They might
Yeah,
have Dart. They might have
Yeah.
Milrow or whoever else. On top of
Milrow
their
shouldn't be
board.
a
Or
day one pick,
what's the guy from
personally.
Louisville? Some that's been moving up the boards. I've been hearing. I don't know if he's a Louisville quarterback. I think, but they
Syracuse
say
quarterback coming out.
I don't.
Well,
Who?
Howard? Will
I
Howard?
Will
I
Howard's
saw.
Ohio State.
Oh, McCord. Yeah, McCord.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they was
seen
talking about
something
him.
about. I think it's the Louisville quarterback who I seen at the combine threw like a
Look
duck, like he
horrible.
threw,
Nah, that's
and he was. But
racism,
they
bro.
saying he got the best arm talent or the best, like
No.
he can make all the,
Mm-mm.
like he's been moving up the boards, but from what I've been reading, but so I don't know who the Saints. I would assume they got Shador at the top of their board, but that's just it. Ain't no telling with what they got going on down there, so I don't know. I ain't
Well,
been in the Saints.
give me how this first 5 picks go out, and but also, I mean, Commanders coming off a great
So
season. I mean, what do y'all need?
so I would say first five, I have Cam Ward, number one overall. Number two, I have Travis Hunter. I think I understand what Travis was saying with Abdul Carter, but I think the Giants have won Super Bowls with an elite D line, and having
Mm-hmm.
Abdul Carter with Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence,
And
that's the spirit.
Thibodeau.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness, that's going to be disgusting to see that twice a year.
yeah.
So that's what I have at three. I think
that's what
Patriots
you
get.
don't want for your
I,
Commanders.
I do not want that at all. But I there's nothing I can do. Like unless the Giants just whiff it. But nah, I mean that's an easy layup for them. I have you guys Patriots getting Will Campbell. Who's the fifth pick?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The Jaguars.
I can see them getting Mason Graham, being safe and getting a D tackle, and he's incredible. And then as for us, we need a lot of things, but I think for the first time in a long time, we're able to draft best player available. We need an edge rusher desperately. We need a running back, but there's so many of them. We don't have to jump and get one. And I
Y'all
wouldn't
gonna
mind
get
a safety
Hampton.
either. So players I would like If Amarion Hampton somehow is at 29, take him, and I'm ecstatic.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good opening draft day.
absolutely. Edge rusher, Shamar Stewart isn't bad, and the edge rusher from Boston College, Donovan, I can't pronounce his last name. I like him. And
Walker too. That he nice.
And then if we're doing a safety, yeah, if like Malachi Starks is there, from Georgia, I'm cool with that. So we got a lot of
pick
options.
y'all got?
With the 29th pick. 29th pick.
Oh yeah, y'all probably gonna grab a running back because I was reading up. You know, I'm in fantasy mode now.
Mm-hmm.
They not, from what I've been reading, y'all not bringing back, or y'all not. Buddy don't like Brian Robinson Jr. or Austin Eckler for next year.
Yeah, and
like,
they're in the
I
last year of their deal,
on.
bro. You don't understand. Yeah. I've been waiting for a franchise running back for so long. So it's like, because the thing with Robinson, cool, but after his injury, he slowed up a bit. His mentality changed. Mm-hmm. He started missing blocks. Like in the game against Atlanta, Jaden's season almost ended with that, the way he got like his leg put back. Yeah, and that was Brian Robinson who missed that block. I on everything I love, I would have drove to Northwest Stadium that night, bro. I would have drove, bro.
When I saw it in the lens, I was like, oh God.
I was ready to crash out, bro. But no, I just think like with Robinson, they're on the last year of their deal. He hasn't shown anything that makes him like a franchise back. And this draft is the best running back class since 2017 that had McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Kamara, and Kareem Hunt. Like this is a gold mine. We come away with something. Like that's what Denzel said. We leaving with something. So
breaking news.
Oh shit.
This is Colorado's OC, Pat Shermer, saying Shedeur Sanders gets compared to as Daniel Jones. Saying he thinks that's very similar prospect.
That's what he said?
Yeah, that's what his OC said. From players and a person. I think they're both wonderful human beings. They're both highly accomplished, talented college players that have a chance to make an impact in the NFL. So there's a lot of similarities between Daniel Jones and.
No, that's not even
true.
Like
that. I don't like that because
I not true at all. You know when I started liking Dimes at Duke, I was like, dang, he kind of decent.
No,
he's solid. He just never
was kind of decent
situation.
No, man.
Nah, Daniel Jones is a decent quarterback. He just had a bad situation, like kind of like Sam Darnold to me. But I don't see that comp though.
That's a horrible comp, bro.
I don't know. I don't see the comp because Daniel Jones can actually, like, does Shedeur run? Like, is he fat? Like, because Daniel Jones got wheels.
Yeah.
Like,
Daniel Jones has wheels, and Shedeur showed a little bit of it at Jackson State, but he didn't really utilize his legs when he was in Colorado. He's shorter than Teddy Bridgewater, bro. That's really what he is. If we're gonna say a comp, Teddy Bridgewater when he was at Louisville plays like Shedeur. Brock Purdy, he has a slightly stronger arm than Brock Purdy. Like he's not doesn't have the strongest arm, but the way he moves, to say Daniel Jones, that's
I mean, that's his OC.
No, man.
Hey, I like that.
Shedeur is a really good processor. He's accurate. He just doesn't have a cannon, which you don't need a cannon if you can process really well. And he has mobility in the pocket. Like, this man has been groomed by Tom Brady since he was 15, and we just ignore that every single chance. And it's really Jackson Dart. Like that's stuff that makes me mad. There's no way people think these other quarterbacks are better than him. And if Jalen Milroe gets drafted ahead of him, that GM's
I doubt that.
That GM not gonna get fired.
He's getting fired in 2 years, and I'll put money.
We'll see. You got to see how Milroe turns
in the first round. If Milroe sits, cool. Milroe's like he's a worse Jalen.
Why is he dropping there?
It's hate on Dion, bro.
So you think it's politics in it?
It's not. It's politics. Okay, they didn't. All right, with Travis is so undeniable of a prospect you can hate on Dion through Travis, but Travis still going to, at worst, fall to 3 at worst.
Right.
With Shador, because he's 6 feet, he doesn't have the greatest arm. And then they're going to use like, oh, he played, D1 AA at Jackson State. Let's throw that against him. But nah, bro, Shador.
I mean, that shouldn't happen. I mean, Carson Wentz did it.
That's
Trey Lance did it. Come on.
Nah, bro. And they went 1 and 2 overall, right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, Wentz almost had an MVP season
but
until
it's
he
also,
got hurt.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also a little bit of the
arrogance,
that line, that confidence versus arrogance line, and I think that kind of turns off some of these GMs in terms of like,
Baker Mayfield was more arrogant and worse off the field, and he went number 1 overall. So what are we talking about?
That's a good point. But yeah, he was a Heisman Trophy winner though. Like,
and he ain't have his father say, "Oh, he only playing for these certain teams," and then now he come back and say, "Oh, well, he can go anywhere and things like this."
You know that was cap because all the teams he named were teams he played on. We don't need a quarterback. Atlanta doesn't need a quarterback. Dallas doesn't need a quarterback. And who else? And the Ravens don't need a quarterback. So, or the Niners. So that's all. It's just trolling, bro. Yeah, people want to hate on Dion. They've been hating on Dion for 40 years now.
Yeah, I don't like Dion. So
when you are successful in what you do, everybody gonna hate. Come on now. I don't. That's true. That's very true. Derek. And also, I don't think. Like, I don't dislike Dion. It's just when you do things as far as like when I called out what he did to the guy in the meet, it just don't sit right with me. And it's
He's
just
not
like
the only coach to ever do that.
Every time I listen to him in the press conference, it's just like, you saw what we did. Da, 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 da. I mean, when you watching the film, we did not do no. Next. It's like, come on, man. I'm in press conferences like this. It's like, all right, this coach want to be on this. It's with pretty much anybody in there. It's just like, you got a job to do. You got to deal with these media people. That's just like players when they don't want to talk after they look. When they win, it's fine and dandy. They be ready to talk, laughing in the locker room.
Sure. But that's never been Shador though.
When
that's
they lose, come on, man. Shador, the
same
but
do you think that if Shador wasn't Dion's son, would he even be talked about in terms of just being a top pick in this draft? Because he hasn't won much in college. I mean, his stat. I guess he's got all the records in Colorado, but it's Colorado. It ain't like it's like a big program. Right. Would he even be, like talked about the way he is if it wasn't for his father? I don't understand why they did that, but
I mean, I get
it. Answer that question. That's a good question, Mies.
Like, do y'all think he would have been?
Yeah, he'd still be one of the best in this draft class. Yeah, he'd be one of the.
That's true. Okay.
I think he'd still be.
I'll say this.
No worse than 2. Like,
I'll say this. I think the path would have been longer. Here's why. His father's the coach. He can put him in that situation to be a starting quarterback in Colorado. I don't know if he go to Jackson State first. I think his career path would be way different than what he went to, because he was playing for his father. Now, what he would have sat at a Florida State, what he would have sat at a Florida or wherever, I think so. But then he might have the opportunity later. So that's why I say I think his path would have been longer than what it is now. I mean, Shador balled out. He went to Jackson State. They had a great 2 years there, even though they couldn't win a Celebration Bowl. That's a different conversation.
No, that's the thing. If you want to nitpick saying he never won a big game, I'm with you because he didn't win a Celebration Bowl. The bowl that they played in Colorado, he lost. Cool.
Biggest game they probably won was TCU.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think it's just, I don't know. Like, I think it's a lot of questions. They got a lot of organizations got a lot of questions. He never played for anybody but his dad. So then you're like, well, can you handle criticism from somebody that's not your father? Can you, without your father being in the room? I think it's a lot of questions surrounding. It's similar, yeah.
But the thing that I like,
Bronny, but yeah.
No. The reason I say that,
but Shador's got a little more
He got a little
he's
more
got a little more
accolades,
resume,
better
but he
stats.
didn't
Shador
die.
has
He wasn't
better
about to die
accolades,
in
better
college, though.
stats. He's played on different
But
levels. He's played out of all the quarterbacks in the draft right now. He played with the least amount of offensive line talent. And he played in a pro style system. What are we talking about? That isn't a good
I
system.
think he's
That
got the IQ for
What
it.
are we
Yeah, he's
talking
got the
about
IQ.
is when you said about the O-line, they went and got, you remember the Louis bags that they talk about the O-line? That's what they had this year. This is why I knew Colorado would struggle with teams. When a team has a great defensive line against that so-called new 5-star O-line, that's when Shador struggles the most against the teams. And
fair.
and if they win, like if the teams went up the trenches right there, that's when he struggles because he getting sacked like BYU. I mean, you see what happened in that game.
They said Shador was like 70% of the offense. They had no running game.
You can go to the Kansas. Go get your Louis bags. The Kansas game. You can go to Oregon.
No, you're right.
USC when they was down 35-0 in the first half, and then obviously they made a comeback somewhat in the second half. I mean, when you played against superior talent, which most people look at, you crumble. You have 40+ yards in the first half. Come on now.
I think he's got the IQ to play for sure. Like he's got it. He's got it. But I just don't. I wouldn't start. I think he's gonna be all right. Honestly, I just wouldn't start him off the rip. He needs to sit just like any other rookie quarterback. Sit.
All I gotta say is,
and then come in.
He better have more. If he start, he better have more than 3,500 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and less than 6 interceptions.
That's not.
That's what he talked about Caleb Williams all year. I'm just talking about Trav. He talked about Caleb Williams all year as having this, and he get on him so bad in the group chat. He better do better than that. That's all.
That wasn't Caleb's fault. It's just the Bears are
he
inept.
better.
Eberflus is a moron.
Caleb
and
had
then
a solid season.
Waldron sucked, and they had no O line. Like,
yeah, but he was. You saw what he did in that Washington game. And
he wasn't good until the end. That's why I'm like,
I know that.
No, I know you know.
He wasn't good at most of them games. Also,
no, certain games he
y'all played around that game a lot. I was just.
They also called back
9-0 half. Y'all should have been up almost like 20.
They called back 3 touchdowns, but it's cool.
Y'all fault.
Okay. Right. If they call back 3,
y'all fault.
2 of the 3 calls were questionable. That's cool.
So that's cool. That. But shout out to Alex Ovechkin passing Wayne Gretzky.
Absolutely.
Most career goals in NHL history.
Absolutely.
And also shout out to
I like Ovechkin.
Maryland native Carmelo Anthony, first ballot Hall of Famer. Y'all just doing it up out here.
Yeah, man.
Well deserved.
It's
well
time.
Deserved, Melo. Well deserved.
I was gonna hit on the Nico leaving Tennessee for committed to UCLA, but we can get out of here and hit on that. That's what I want to dive into, like the transfer portal, NIL kind of conversation. My opinion, I love the NIL. I think college players should definitely get paid. But as far as the transfer portal, I hate it.
Yeah.
But it's also the NCAA's fault for not setting rules.
That's what I was about to say. I think the rules need to be in place for that, because when you got 4,000 transfers, you probably got another 3,000 JUCO players.
Mm-hmm.
When your son want to go to college and this still going on, they trying to pick a school they want to go to, and now you saying Rick Pitino talking about he don't want no people that's coming out of high school because you can't win like that and all this other stuff. It's just like everything changed. Now the favorite school you want to go to, you can't go to now.
Yeah.
Because now you got all these people transferring and all this other. But that's a different conversation, different day. But I always appreciate y'all.
Look at Baylor.
Exactly.
Baylor basketball, they don't have a person on their roster.
Indiana did the same thing.
NBA.
Indiana was the same way, Mies. Celtics win the NBA championship this year. Y'all know that.
You just wanted to just sneak that in there, like we wouldn't hear that. That's cool. Just know if you don't, you're gonna hear from me. That's all.
And if the Lakers don't, and if the Cavs don't, and if this
No.
team don't, everybody gonna hear it.
Y'all
Everybody
been
gonna have.
talking cash.
We not the favorite.
All right, bro.
Go to any bad site. OKC the favorite, so you know.
Nah, bro. If y'all
Yeah,
don't win
okay.
it
I
all,
don't understand that. How is OKC the favorite? I just don't get it. They haven't done anything in the playoffs since Kevin Durant and Russell
Battle
Westbrook.
tested.
I just don't understand how they are so like everybody got them as a favorite. Like regular season and playoffs are two different ball games to me. So I'm just like, yeah, they were great in the regular season, but the playoffs, oh, we gonna see. We gonna see what OKC about. We definitely
I
gonna see
got
that.
Boston
My
OKC in the
Lakers too. We
finals.
gonna see what
And
they
it
do.
Boston
starts
should
now.
win, but you know who I'm rooting for.
Make sure you have your money ready.
I'm not putting no
I
money.
just can't see OKC.
Actually,